What's up, and welcome to the Nothing But Net Worth podcast, where we have conversations with prominent coaches, athletic directors, and NIL athletes discussing critical topics around financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and much, much more. My name is Hassan Thomas, former student athlete and current promoter of all things financial wellness. And today, we have business and athlete development expert and a director of operations for Colorado's NIL collective, Mr. Reggie Calhoun Jr., baby. How are you, man? How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. Your energy is lit. I see you.
Hey, I told you before this, man, I was rolling, so you finna get it.
Yeah. We're gonna roll this thing through for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, how we normally like to start off our show is we like to have a segment called the Financial Coin Toss. I'm going to ask you a few either or questions just to see where your head's at, all right?
Bet. Well, let's do it.
All right. So we talking about this NIL. We're talking about student athletes being able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. So, in your opinion, which is more important? How much money they can make from NIL or how much money they keep from their NIL deals?
It's a great question, man. I haven't really been asked that one before. I think there's a part of me that would say how much they can save, but in actuality, how much they can make. And I'm gonna say this. So because if you look at a company, right, and that's what athletes are, they are companies.
Facts.
How much money can your company make means there's a valuation, right? So that means how valuable are you to the market, right? So if I'm saying how much you can make, not how much you're making right now, how much can your name, image, likeness make? That's the value. So if I'm saying you can make 100 million, I think that's a lot more than, hey, you can save 2 million.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down, kind of calculating what your personal brand can make or can pull in from a deal with the Nike, with the Adidas, with these companies. What's your big potential? What's your big number that you can make from those deals based on your personal brand? I like the way you put that.
Yeah. Because the question always like, oh, well, how much are they making? Well, what they're making right now means nothing. When you look at 10 years from now, how much can they eventually make if they stay on this trajectory? So if they're making $1 million now, I mean, if you do the right things and put the right things in place, you could probably make 10, 15, 20 mil in 3 years and then compound that into something else. So I'm looking at a standpoint like what you're doing now to build. What can you make?
And to that point, that brings me like, okay, even if they don't make it to the pros, if they built up their social media following, if they built up their influencing while they were playing in college, like you said, 3 to 4, 5 years down the road, they can start bringing in the 15 million, 30 million because they built up a following over 3 to 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough, man. So I want to kind of dive back into a time before NIL and get more of your story, because I feel like with every athlete, every entrepreneur, there's that certain turning point, that certain moment where whatever happens in your life, this is going to define, where you go to college or if you go to college or where you're going to play. So take us back to high school. Reggie Calhoun Jr. in high school, man. Talk to us about that defining moment where you knew you could play at the next level.
Well, I never knew I could play at the next level.
Really?
I went to 4 high schools in 4 years in 4 different states, right? And then Hurricane Katrina was my senior year in high school. So I wasn't even thinking about college. So I joined the military out of high school, and then I went JUCO. In JUCO, I realized I could play at this level.
Okay, so it was JUCO.
Yeah.
So okay, you were in the military. How long was the military?
I did 10 years.
So you did 10 years, and then you went JUCO at what age?
I was in JUCO at 19. So I ended up going into the reserve, chose school. So
okay. I'm like, man, you was in there, Brandon Whedon.
Nah, man, I was 19. I went JUCO, and I started just like trying to figure out how to play ball at the college level. I made the squad, and then certain rules kicked in to where I couldn't actually play because I was out of state, and that led me down a rabbit hole of like reading the rule books of the NCAA and the NJCAA, and then time for me, age wise, I was 20, going on 21. I didn't want to wait no longer, so I found a program that I could get into immediately. So I went to a Division III school, and being there for a year, I didn't even know I was at a D3. I didn't know what a D3 was. I just knew I was able to get into
That you
school,
was playing ball.
you know, and I had a blast, man. That was just kind of my journey there, and I broke some records, and you know, I had a blast, bro.
So, kind of give some. Well, first, I want to hear about your journey. How was it for you transitioning into civilian life, not being an athlete anymore? Talk about that, and then give some advice for the young athletes listening now who are going to eventually have to face that transition as well.
Bruh, I tell you, it sucked, and it only sucked because I felt like I was back in high school all over again.
Wow, really?
I have no plan.
Uh-huh.
I have this degree, but I really don't know how to get a job, like a resume and apply for jobs and go interview, and like it sucked, right? And once I realized, like, dang, my whole identity was wrapped around the sports and being an athlete. It made me feel like less of a person.
So how long did that stage last for you, feeling
What
like
this
that?
was, it was like 2012, probably right up until like 2015.
So probably was it 22 to 25 or what you
Nah,
said?
there was, yeah, no, 24 to 20, about 26 on 27.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sheesh. So what was the initial like initial kick to kind of bring you out that slump?
Well, I had a newborn, right?
Okay,
So
that'll do it.
yeah,
That'll.
when I graduated school, I had a newborn, and his mom like looked at me one day when I was trying out for the league and stuff.
Yeah.
She looked me in my face and said, "Hey, a real man take care of his family," and I'm like, "You're right." So everybody feel like I became an entrepreneur because that's all I wanted to do. No, I became one because that's all I had.
Wow, out of
But
necessity.
I had no idea what an entrepreneur was. It was just like, yo, I'm gonna just start me a business using my degree. Yeah, I'm gonna just do this. And I started just trying different stuff and falling into different things, and
Yeah.
that became like the driving force. How can I make my own money? If nobody wants to hire me, how do I make my own money? Right? And then that just kind of opened up my whole world to everything. Yeah, I tell everybody, my son and my manhood is the same age.
Hey, chill. that's that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. He
Yeah.
said, "My son, my child is the same age as my manhood. They literally the same exact age."
They started the same time.
That just reminds me of like, and I want to get your opinion on this as well. But even when you're playing a sport, you need to be watching that sport. You need to be playing that sport. You need to be going to camps. You need to be getting exposure. And what happens, and where did I just get back from? A
Yeah.
conference. As an entrepreneur, you need to be doing the same thing. You need to be watching and listening to other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You need to be going to conferences. You need to
Yeah.
be networking. So literally, there's so many different things that translate from an athlete to an entrepreneur to a top valuable businessman, businesswoman.
Yeah.
And you said that a little earlier too. So I want to kind of dive back into that. What are some of those actual skills and characteristics that are transferable from the sport that you played to your career?
Watching film.
Yeah.
Bro, I watch so much YouTube that like my algorithm is all about like entrepreneurship, business, people who
Yeah.
scale joints. And I don't just watch it to be entertained or watch it to say, oh, yeah, I saw that before. No, I'll watch it. I take notes, I analyze it, I figure out how I can apply it to my game. Like same way I watch film.
For sure.
And then I will go watch interviews I've done to see what I said in this interview. How could I have said that better? How could I deliver my message better? Because the same thing I did when I played ball is what helped me break records, which helped me get awarded. So when I
Yeah.
do that now, I got awarded, break records. It's the exact same thing.
Translates. Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. And the way that I train, so I still work out. So I work out because it's part of my entrepreneurial longevity,
Yeah.
right? Like I have to keep that going because the discipline in the gym applies to discipline in my entrepreneurial endeavors.
Got you.
So I'm an athlete at heart, bro.
Ain't no former athlete. It's still there.
I'm an athlete.
Come on. Come on,
Everything
man.
costs.
So when you talked about you starting your entrepreneurial journey, was that helping student athletes, or what were you doing
Yeah.
at that time?
One day I decided that, hey, I want to start my own team. And I created a football team, and then I called all my friends from college who were coaches. Said, "Hey, yo, can I get some games?" So I had a 10 game schedule against college teams my first year, and then
Wait. You started your own team
yeah,
that competed in
against
colleges.
yeah,
So this was like
it was 2017.
so this
So I
is like the
started,
college version of IMG. Like this
yeah,
is
yes, I
that
started my own version of a JUCO, but it was more of a prep.
okay.
So we were trying to prepare them for college, and we was giving them like college classes, but we was giving it to them in like micro speed on spots, right? So like an 8 week class here and an eight
Yeah.
week class here, versus you showing up and taking 15 hours off the rip. We was like, let's get you to 15 hours, but you take one, you take one, you take one, you take one. You
Okay.
the same amount of classes, but you ease into college, and then athletically, we played all the JUCOs in Texas and Kansas and Arkansas, and
Yeah.
we played some D3s, we played some NAIAs, we played some D2s, and I ran that for about 7 years, about 6 or 7 years.
Man. So what would you say from that journey, from starting on campuses, just not even taking people to schools, but starting with just helping people with their injuries, doing some mentorship, to literally running an entire JUCO prep program? What would you say is some big lessons that you took away from that specific time period in your life?
Man, one, having a vision. Two, trusting the fact that you can do something that's non-traditional and make it mainstream,
Yeah.
right? But when I was doing this wasn't the cool thing to do, right? Especially in Texas, right? I was one of the first programs to create that in Texas.
Yeah.
And then understand that something as simple as an idea that you sitting on for 2 years waiting on your friends will never happen. You gotta just go ahead and do it yourself. And that's what I did. Like it took me, I had the idea in 2015 and do it until 2017.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So having a vision and then learning about business, right? Everything ain't
Yeah.
a hustle. It's not a hustle. So I was like part time in it, jumping in and not doing the proper things, setting up a business, LLC, bank account. I was just like, we could just start a little team and get some games, right? And
You had
you
to go all
learn,
in.
you gotta really put your foundation together. So setting the foundation is important, man, but you gotta know what kind of foundation you want to build on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would say. Like I can go into detail about everything, but the foundation of what you want your vision to be built on is where you should start.
Man, no, that's great game, because like I said, it's just amazing to hear that you had an idea and you actually built it to something. You know what I mean? Like you had an idea in your head and then you physically built it to something where you could touch, feel,
Yeah.
move, travel, and your idea is still impacting, thousands, millions of people. So definitely your flowers for that, man. And that should be inspiration for everybody listening. that idea that you have in your head that, like you said, that's non-conventional, that I ain't never heard no one man say, yeah, I started an entire JUCO. like that's lit, man, for real. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Like, let's follow the journey. So, like, how did
Yeah.
you get to where you are now, being the director of Colorado's NIL collective? Like, how did that lead up to that?
I ended up in Colorado because in college I used to train and work out with Coach Prime and them in the summer. So that's who I worked out with for like 2 years. And then I would hang around the summer camps. His first high school he started, I was there. And then, man, we just kind of kept a good relationship. I kept my name clean and then started like doing more online. And then once the opportunity opened up, man, like it was a no-brainer. Like I get to get back with the people who changed my college career. Like, and now I'm in a position where I bring value. I could have came and asked to be a coach or come asked to be a GA, but that wasn't my lane. I had no value in that. I'm not going to be a GA at nobody's school because I've already coached in college and I've already built my program. So I'm not about to be a GA, right? So NIL is a thing that I talked about for the last like 4 years. So I've talked about athletes building their own brand for like 4 years.
Before it even got.
Yes, this is just a thing, but I felt like we need to do more to be known once the game ends.
For sure.
So now I'm here, man, and real passionate about helping athletes. And Coach Prime has a big vision of helping his people and putting people in position. And this opportunity came open. I said, "Yeah, come."
Is the goal of your role as the director of operations at the collective, is your goal to make sure that it's as fair as possible? Is that your ultimate goal for everybody on the team, or
Nah,
what
because
would you say is your goal?
real life is not fair, so I can't even present this facade like, oh, everybody gets to. No, it's I want to make sure that I can tell and teach athletes that no matter what you're doing, you have the opportunity to do these things if you take XYZ, if you do XYZ, if you learn XYZ, if you go and
Okay.
do not we gotta get all of this in and then give it to everybody equally. That's not real life, right?
Got you.
And if we're really trying to help them out, I'd rather teach them how to fish.
Got you. You're going to provide the fishing poles. You're going to provide the bait. You're going to teach. But it's up to you to actually go out there and reel them suckers in.
Yeah.
Got you.
It's not my job to do the work for you
Mm-hmm.
because athletes, we've grown accustomed to everybody holding our hands and doing stuff for us and passing us through on the serious stuff of life, but allowing us to work freely in the athletic side of it, though.
Yeah.
Like an athlete can catch touchdowns, dunk the ball, shoot the stuff, dance, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But when it's time to do stuff outside the sport, nah, I'll let my financial advisor do that. Nah, I don't read the contracts, bro. Nah, I don't care about this interest rate. Nah, I just let my really. You ain't gonna let your mama come catch a pass? Would you literally tell your mama or your uncle, hey, like, I'm tired. Come run this route for me? Hell, because you take that serious, but you let other people control the other parts of your life, but you take your running routes and dunking the ball super serious. You don't want nobody to come and take your reps, but you give your reps away in real life.
In real life. Stuff that's going to set you up for either failure or success. We giving away and putting it to other people's hands. Man, I want to know, in your opinion, with this NIL, give us a major pro and also give us a major con in the name, image, and likeness space right now.
Ooh, I'll start with the con. So the major downfall is you're going to have a lot of athletes come through college and come through sports in general and miss their window to actually build. Like right now, your name, image, likeness is tracking with your athletics.
Yeah.
When your athletics starts to decline, your NIL should still be going up. But you're going to see this. They're going to do it the exact same way. You're going to become a used to be. And that's one of the harshest realities that you're going to see athletes miss the window. It's a 3 to 4 year window to build your next 10 years. And then you let to build your next, but they're going to miss it. You got kids making real legitimate money.
Facts.
That's like changing like their lives, like changing their family lives, which is cool because if we know that 98% of a team doesn't make it pro, but if 70% of a team can make life-changing money, you beat the odds.
Yeah.
Right? So when you finish playing, you no longer have a window to build. Unless
And that's
you have
what
a creative idea like.
And that's what I want to double down back on what you said, that big con. I think that's a perfect example for the athletes that are listening to this right now. It puts it into perspective. Like, okay, I'm a freshman, I'm doing okay on in my sport. Sophomore year, I start balling. Now my trajectory is going up. You know, junior year, I'm doing good. Senior year, I get injured. Now you're at that point of, okay, is the league still looking at me? Can I still go pro? And now your trajectory has, it's just settled down right here. So I completely admire that about you. Your focus on the life skills, the education to really ensure success after graduation for these student athletes. So in your opinion, do you believe that financial literacy and financial education falls under life skills? And if so, how important is that financial education piece?
It's extremely important, right? Somebody said in the quote that if you don't have a plan for your money, somebody has a plan for your money, right? And if all you're focused on is how to make the money, you're never going to think about how to grow your money and how to protect your money. So for me,
Facts.
making money is great. It's a great skill, but you have to have the education and the knowledge on how to grow it and protect it, right? And
Gotcha.
if they don't learn that piece, it don't matter how much money they make, because once you lose it, the likelihood of you getting it back, everybody ain't got that skill. Everybody ain't got that skill, So financial literacy, although it's a buzzword, I think being literate in anything makes you more skillful. So if
Facts.
you learn, if you look at making money as a skill and how to protect it and grow it as a skill, in the sports world, my skills have to get sharpened. I got to get better at my skills. So you practicing a skill of how to grow, and that takes being literate in what you're doing. So I'm gonna always be a fan and an advocate for financial literacy, just not in the social media hype fad world, but really learning what
Yeah.
money really means, learning what a foreign exchange really is, right? Learning how there's money that's moving around you all day long, and everything
Facts.
is making money. If you in it, it's making money, and if it's free to
Yeah.
you the product. So it's just kind of like understanding that just because you ain't making money don't mean people ain't making money.
Yeah. If it's free to you, then you're the product. Sheesh. Hey,
You
that
the
that can
you the
that can
product.
apply to a lot of different situations, man.
You'll be
And I think what you
Yeah,
go
bro.
ahead.
You'll be a fool to think. Say you'll be a fool to think nobody's making money on Instagram because it's free. They make a lot of money on Instagram. Like they make a lot of money on
Facts.
Facebook. They make a lot. You ain't making money on that because you ain't literate to understand how the money is being made.
Literally.
But to like wrap this up, man, 'cause I know you gotta go. Me too. But your podcast is called Nothing But Net Worth, right? And
Yep.
I think that's where like we have to get back to the roots of college. That your network is your net worth in college, bro. If you go to school for 4 years and you don't meet not one doctor, one lawyer, and one engineer, you wasted your time in college.
Facts. Facts. Man, and I wanna ask you just one more question before we do get off. I want to know what's next for Colorado. What's next for their athlete development programs? Kind of round us off like that, man. What's next for y'all?
Truth be told, I don't work for Colorado, so I work for the collective. So
Okay.
not in the department, right? Which is a great spot for me because I'm not really fans of like too many rules, so I like
For
that.
sure. That's the entrepreneurial.
But but the guys on staff, man, who care about these athletes, they're so like forward thinking. Like you're gonna see a lot of these kids become something outside of athletes just because of the
Yeah.
people who are in this building.
Nah, that's lit, man. That's lit, man. Thank you so much for joining the show, Reggie. If you have any final takeaways, any final words that you want to give them, definitely let them know. And also let us know where we can reach you, how we can contact you, and anything you want to shout out. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. So my social media is all the same. It's Reggie Calhoun Jr. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that same thing. I don't shout out much, but I will say that if you're an athlete and you're looking to get into any space, hit me up. We have a program. We have a certification programs about 6 months, and it goes from everything on how to start your business, how to grow your business, how to leverage the fact that you were an athlete, and how to turn it into a real business. And it's under the guise of athlete development. So it's a resource for athletes developing into whatever they want to be. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well, thank you again for all our listeners. Y'all already know. Take some of these small gems that Reggie dropped here today, apply them to your life, and I promise you there will be large results over time. So again, thank you so much, Reggie. And if y'all looking to be educated, motivated, and inspired not to only stay in the game, but to change it, the Nothing But Net Worth podcast is for you. See you next week.